Good evening, TLN. It's Rocket Rob 99. This is Taloncast number 22. And today we're going to be doing it as a simulcast while I play live on a Twitch feed through PlayStation 4. It's been quite a while since I did the last Taloncast, and I needed to bring you guys up to speed on a lot of different things that have been going on recently, and basically also some questions about what we've been doing as a team and where we plan on going. Right now, I have to say probably the biggest problem I have is the lack of activity amongst the players. And, when you look at a community such as ours, there's a lot of people have different tastes and so on. And I think what the real biggest problem we've had is that when we started out, TLM, we started out at MAG. MAG was an MMO, an online shooter, that was an MMO, so we had a lot of interaction with a lot of different players and people from all over the world and so on and so forth. But I think, when MAG died and when we moved to Battlefield 3, put a lot of restrictions on how we operated as a team. When we were in MAG, we could be on teams up to 128 players. So we could certainly have a lot more people in together to group together as one team. When we came into Battlefield, what we had is we were restricted to just 12-player teams, and we could only set up squads of 4 people, and that, restricted people even further. And then there was the fact that a lot of people that played MAG didn't necessarily get into the Battlefield genre. It wasn't their type of thing. So they didn't necessarily come with us, and, that kind of created a little bit of a hole. We did pretty good in Battlefield 3. I think we were pretty successful in creating our team and platoon, and we did get a fair number of new players from Battlefield 3. But again, we were hindered by some of the other problems that I mentioned. As we moved, through Battlefield 3, through all the different expansions, and when we started out in Battlefield 3, let's face it, the game was broken. Yes, Battlefield 3 was broken on release too, and there's no question about that. But what I think happened was I think that the community, was willing to give DICE a chance to get Battlefield 3 on track, and they did get it on track relatively quickly, comparatively to what we're seeing now. It took them basically 3.5 months after release to get Battlefield 3 to a certain playable level that was acceptable to, I think, everybody. And, Battlefield 4, they just haven't been able to do that. And I don't know what the answer to that is, other than to say that, they fucked up and they didn't tell us the truth about what was going on with this game, and they just didn't fulfill my expectations for what the title was going to be. Freak. So, I think that really hurt us, and the current state of Battlefield 4 is such a way now where I don't know if it's recoverable. They're making changes, and recently news was released this week that they are changing and tweaking Rush. Well, God bless them for finally figuring out that the most popular game mode from Battlefield 3 should actually work on Battlefield 4. Anybody that has played, Rush knows that the Memcom placements for Battlefield 4 were horrible, and this is another thing that just, contributes to, how people feel about the title. Now, we as a community, we need to look at, a title for, will it have, the things that we as a team, want to portray ourselves as, for crying out loud. We turn around and we pride ourselves on being a tactical team of gamers and so on. And, I think it's hard to say sometimes, when you play certain games, whether, it'll have that tactical side. And what I mean by that is like here in Battlefield, the ability to to revive a team and to work as a squad. I mean, that's kind of the thing we want. However, I mean, what we wish we did have is more scale. In other words, having larger teams, and I mean, we see that on PlayStation 4. But I mean, it also has presented quite a challenge for us as a community to service our team, and still be effective, as a community. I mean, when the game has the flaws that Battlefield 4 has, I mean, we're caught up in one thing or another where, what do we do as a clan to figure out what's the best thing for for our course of action? I mean, when you look at this as what our core games should be and so on and so forth going forward, I think a lot of people, are eventually going to move to PlayStation 4. Whether that happens, now or over the course of a year, I think more and more people are already going to PlayStation 4. I think they just need that one little thing that helps them, want the system or be able to afford it and so on and so forth. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of all over the place because I really don't know what I can do or what the officers can do to increase activity of our players. Now, I'm sorry, CFP?
Sorry, just couldn't hear you before. My other headset wasn't working.
Alright, I can hear you now. Okay, sorry guys. So, what I'm trying to say now is that, I'd like to, get our clan back to, its greatness of being a team-oriented clan where we get together, nightly, have fun on a particular game and enjoy playing as a team free of all the other online bullshit that goes on. But that all comes back to you guys. I mean, what we need to look for when we look at games coming down the path here, we need to look for scale and we need to look for things that allow us to work and act as a team and shine. However, I think the issue here is with all of you guys is activity. See, if I could get a little more activity from the members or feedback from the members on what things they want us to do or what different things that we could do better to make it more engaging for everybody to want to be a part of the community, it'll make things a lot easier. I mean, look, the basic thing as a group we are lacking is communication. We are not having the guy, you guys are not coming on the website or we're not seeing people in games, and that's mainly for in real life stuff, or people are playing different games now instead of Battlefield or whatever. And so they feel that, what's the part of being in TLN? What's the part of being in TLN if I'm not playing Battlefield? Well, I don't know what the answer to this question is. But what I could say is that we're working on it. Now, as part of our, ability to be able to, communicate with our members, we're going to be sending out an email to every member that signed up to the TLN website. Now, even if you're an active member on the website, you're going to get this email because, frankly, we just couldn't separate out those who are active and those who are not. Now, I recently gone through the member list and looked at how active people are and when they're active. I mean, we do have a fair number of people that are active at least once a month, but we have less and less people that are active once a week or even once a day. And this is kind of the thing that I'm hoping to change. I mean, when you get involved in the clan, we want you to be part of the community. Our website and our activity as a community all works around our website. If you're not there, not on the website, you don't know what's going on, what games people are playing, when is everybody grouping up, and so on and so forth. So, the importance of being active on the website is vital to where you're going to go. In our community. I mean, if you're not active in the website and you're not participating, it's a little hard to group up with people if nobody knows when you're on, or nobody knows what game you're particularly playing. So if you can get on the website, get on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on all the social media situations, you can be a little bit more involved in our community. So that when you do have time to game, you're not only you're gaming, and enjoying a new game, but you're also with the group of players who want to play the game the way you do, which is really the point. So, I mean, I'll stress to you guys again, I'm going to be sending out this is going to be a clan-wide message, and we're going to ask everybody to respond to that message or come to the website to post so that we know that they got it and they still want to be a part of the Talon Strike Force community. Now, going forward down the road here, what we have planned to do is we're looking at several titles for PS4. As a further hope to bring, our clan back together. One of those titles is PlanetSide 2. PlanetSide 2 definitely does have a mad feel to it, but it also feels a lot like Dust. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that Dust was a fucking epic failure. I mean, it was really probably, the biggest mistake we made as a clan is to recommend that game, which really just did not meet our expectations. I don't know if it ever reached a level of functionality where it worked the way they had said it was, or the way we expected it did, but I can say that it was just an absolute friggin' mistake. I have to admit, I myself fell to the hype, and that's really what it was that sold that game, was a certain amount of hype. God darn it. And, we fell victim to it. I mean, there's really no other way to describe it. So going forward, what we have planned to do is to take a little bit softer approach. What we have in mind right now is focusing on one title, one or maybe two titles for the PlayStation 4 console, where we will focus our efforts. Now, that will most likely be PlanetSide 2 and or Destiny, or another title to be named. I mean, we're not planning on running multiple branches. We are going to focus on basically one game. We're going to continue our recruitment and try and grow the clan from one game. However, since we did learn our lessons from Dust, what we've planned on doing is looking at PlanetSide 2 on a 30-day trial and testing it out to see how it's going to play for our clan. Also, we'll be looking to choose what faction we'll run with and see if we can really make a dent and a mark in this game. Now, but at the same time, we're also not going to commit the entire team of PLN to playing PlanetSide 2 until we know it works. It's an active title that, is going to give us everything that we want. I mean, we want scale, we want an MMO, we want, the ability to have vehicles and being able to act as a team. PlanetSide 2 is a PC game moving over to PlayStation 4, and it promises to deliver all of those things that we saw in Mag and a lot more. But